He was born. He was born to do this. Like he was touted in Clemson.
Nah, he's real.
Sunshine. He was coming out #1 pick. This is it. Like Jacksonville finally figured it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at me.
Bench Mob, they're speaking the facts that you wanna hear. Their rep jersey, the vision is clear. Diamonds glisten like a chandelier. You know what I'm here for, like Marshawn Lynch. At clutch time, we do not flinch. Real brothers, we do not switch. Hit home runs with the right pitch. Who run the city? What to do when they hating on you? I feel like Kobe 2010. I taking an L, all I need is a win. Business is business, you know how they go. They playing the seats, now it's time to grow. Tuning now, gotta be in the know. Showtime, bitch, my about to blow.
I ain't seen something else. Miles, you was really big on it. Hell yeah.
Bench Mob Podcast. What's up, bro?
Think we're gonna do a highlight.
Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Bench Mob Ent podcast. We back for another one. This is episode 210. On this episode, what can you expect? We're gonna talk about Daniel Jones. We're gonna have that honest conversation about Daniel Jones. How good are the Cowboys? Are the Jags the real thing? Our week 4 picks and more. So before we even get into it and we do our introductions, if you're watching this, thank you. Subscribe on YouTube. If you're listening, subscribe, give us a 5-star rating, leave us a review. CJ, Cincinnati's very own. How are you doing tonight? Y'all won.
We won, man. We expected to win. It was a get-right game, as Greg said last week. I'm feeling good, though. I'm feeling good. Miles was ducking me. I ain't gonna lie. Miles was ducking me on Sunday.
Yeah, let's go back to the messages. I got to the parking lot. Oh yeah, no. We in line. We're going inside.
Listen. I was trying to break some bread with Miles. I was trying to have some beers, just have it all nice before the game. We was both there. Wanted to tailgate with him. Wish him good luck. But
hey, Chris, what were y'all playing? What was the music of choice at this function? Was it? I'm curious.
Music of choice at what?
At your tailgate. What were y'all playing on the loudspeaker over there?
What you mean? We was playing some Travis Scott. We was playing a whole bunch of stuff. We was playing some Meek Mill's Dreams and Nightmares. It was about to be a funeral. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? And mind you, Miles would have had a good time because we was vibing with some Jets fans right next to us.
Man, you had to use binoculars from your seats. I
ain't have to use no binoculars. I saw every crisp throw that Joe Burrow made. He looked good, bro. He looked real good.
He did.
Miles did a good seat for that too.
Miles, smooth operator. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Zach Wilson's back. We finally got our quarterback back. Not Joe Flacco. I don't have to deal with that BS anymore. So I'm good. I'm feeling good over here.
And Greg, Mr. Hot Takes, debate your mother sends me here. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I mean, the Giants aren't going to go 17-0 anymore. So,
But we knew that.
It's all right. We came back down to earth, but I'm good, man. Can't complain.
Can't rush the success. That's what I'll say.
You can't, right? Blowing my we can't.
Yo, that's perfect because that's exactly where I wanted to start. So the Giants O-line surrendered quarterback pressures on 40.5%.
Good Lord.
Of Daniel Jones's dropbacks. Sacks 5 times. I'll start it off with this and we take it from there. After this game, I know people want to come at Daniel Jones' neck. And I'm a big component. And I love the Daniel Jones saga that we have on this show.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't put the blame on Daniel Jones, really.
Facts.
Outside of Saquon, this man ain't got no weapons.
I agree 100%. Their O-line looked like hot garbage. Hot garbage.
Evan Neal looks like hot garbage.
Evan O'Neal? Evan O'Neal, that's his name?
We might as well call him Evan O'Neal. I'm not
get him up out of there. Get him up out of there. He was getting beat. And like you said, Greg, Micah Parsons could make any team look crazy, right? He can make any O-line look crazy, but there was no reason at all for Daniel Jones to be getting pressured the way he was getting pressured. And if it wasn't for his athleticism and making some plays on his own, right, and being elusive in the pocket and be able to feel it coming before it actually gets there, he would have got sacked a ton more. But again, you can't put the blame on Daniel Jones because everything that I saw from him in that second half, mainly in that second half on Monday night, he looked good. He was throwing the ball downfield. He kept his eyes downfield. He knew when to get out of the pocket and tuck it and run it. Like, he looked good. Receivers were dropping the ball. Trayvon Diggs' interception wouldn't have happened if the receiver didn't fall. Kenny Golladay, get him up out of there too. Daniel Jones played well. I thought I didn't really see a lot of flaws. And the one thing that stood out to me is this kid's athletic. This kid knows how to tuck it and run, and that's a huge strength for him. So I liked what I saw from him, and I think people got to pump the brakes on the Daniel Jones conversation in terms of if he's going to be the Giants' future quarterback, because I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be. Put some weapons around him. I think he could be a strong contender in that division.
It's too late in the process at this point, though. That's what I think. I agree with you. I think he could be the guy moving forward, but at this point, they declined his option. So now you're kind of out of options with him moving forward, unless you're going to re-sign him to a one-year deal. But at that point, it's like now you're playing with fire. Like, this team didn't draft him. Well, the GM coach combo, they didn't draft him. So they're not necessarily tied to him. So they can just clean house. Like, they're already starting to do it. Golladay is not playing as much as he should for someone getting paid as much as he is. And I mean, it sucks because I feel like Daniel Jones could go somewhere else and end up being pretty good because they got the weapons, they got the line, they got everything that the Giants failed to give him. It's kind of like Sam Darnold. The guy was talented coming out, put nothing around him. So you can't really fault the kid for, not succeeding. Who would succeed in this scenario? It's like, you put Mahomes in the same scenario, do you think he's what he is now? I don't think so. So
Miles said something that I've been thinking about the last 24, 48 hours since the game, and is that I can only think of one quarterback in the NFL that would be successful under these circumstances, and it's not Mahomes, it's not Josh Allen, it's Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's the only person that's athletic enough to make guys miss that are running right at him, get yards on the ground, make teams pay for selling out, basically the way they do when they pass rush against the Giants because they know their O-line's bad. But look, the Daniel Jones is bad narrative. I've been fighting it for years. I'm from year one when I saw him come out, the biggest issue he had was fumbling. But, like when you have the O-line, the performance you guys saw on Monday, that's been like literally, I swear, 75% of the games he's played, the O-line's looked that bad. It's been disastrous. Daniel Jones never had a fair chance to be anything with this regime. The owner knows it. The owner came so much as said so before the season started. The regime that came in, it makes sense not to allocate funds to a guy you didn't draft. And there's no good film on him besides his rookie year. It makes sense, right? But I wouldn't be surprised at all if by the end of the season, Daniel Jones is the guy they choose to go forward with. I'll be honest. I was completely turned off to the idea early on, and I flip-flopped because, he makes mistakes and there's things he has to clean up. But I think Daboll's doing a pretty good job. And honestly, I thought that game he played on Monday night was the best game he's played in his career. And he's had 4 touchdowns, like 300-plus yards, 4 touchdown games in the NFL. Did it against the Jets. He's done it against Washington. He did it against Detroit, I think, his rookie year too. He had games like that. So he's had really great statistical games. The Saints game last year. But I think that game was the best one because he made the rush miss. He was the only thing that was working for the Giants. Him and Saquon. Saquon made a run up here out of nowhere. He's back. And Daniel Jones just made rushes miss and made things happen off strip. The throw he had to Richie James off his back foot was the best throw I've seen him make and the best throw I've seen from any quarterback this season. That was the best throw. That was incredible. Off the back foot, throwing it to the sideline like that over a defender underneath. He's got real talent. There's something there. I think the issue you have is like if there's a quarterback in the draft you love and you're a different regime, I can't fault them if they move on. That's my thing. And that's why I say what I say, okay, like, move on. But the talent I saw from him, where I compared him to Josh Allen before he went superhuman, like, I knew what I was seeing. the stats that they have at this, like comparatively to this point in their careers, right, where before they got that top-notch grade A weapon, it's the same. It's the same stats. In fact, Daniel Jones is more accurate and he do less interceptions. He's fumbled the ball more. You could say that against him, but this season he hasn't fumbled it at all. He's done a great job. And as many times he got hit in that game, not coughing it up is an accomplishment. He was getting killed in that game. So I think that he has a lot of talent. Quarterback is not the Giants' biggest problem. It's cleaning up the records that get him and left in his wake. And Galladay, I just like an idiot. I damn near do. The day the Giants.
You called him Baby Megatron.
I did, and I call him Baby Julio. Don't misquote me, Clarence, whatever. Don't misquote me. but what I did the day the Giants signed Galladay, I remember this. My dad came home from work. I was all excited. I remember buying this big dinner at the crib. I was so excited the Giants got a receiver. What an idiot I ended up being. The egg on my face is crazy, but it's all right, man. Like, look, I think they're heading in the right direction. I think they have the right coach in place to get the most out of Daniel Jones, and who knows, he might just play well enough under these really adverse scenario to where you might bring him back. That could happen. That could definitely happen. It's within the Giants might win too many games to be in the running for a guy like C.J. Stroud. Anyways, I think they're going to win too many games. They're going to win 8 games. I think they will. The record just lends itself to that. So,
I think that's the positive, though. I think that's what you got to look at, right? Like, Daniel Jones has been the quarterback for the Giants for the past few years. He knows the system. He has this great coach that just came in this year, right? If they have a good relationship this season and you see the talent, as if you're Dable, if you see the talent and see how he's progressing and he's doing a good job, like, bring him back. The marriage isn't broken in any way like other teams have in that situation where you just want to cut ties with the quarterback, right? Because the media gets involved and all that other stuff, and there's too much outside noise. But if Daniel Jones is playing well and the talk around him is positive and it's working for the Giants, like, why not bring him back? Because then all you really have to do is focus on fixing that offensive line and get him some weapons, and then you have a solid offense.
Yeah, and I'll say this too, to your point. The difference between like him and I've said Baker Mayfield. I've used Baker Mayfield as an example a million times. And people thought I was crazy when I said it. I remember the hate comments after when Antonio posted these clips of me talking about Baker Mayfield and Daniel Jones. But Baker Mayfield and even Jimmy Garoppolo, same thing, really. The reason why their team's going to move away from them is because they're put in the perfect situation, throwing from clean pockets to great weapons, and they still don't get the job done. I don't think that if you put Daniel Jones in that situation with a clean pocket and great players around him, like great players like Kittle, Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, right? These guys that Garoppolo and Baker Mayfield have both had. You're not going to see Daniel Jones fumble that opportunity. You're going to see a guy really play good football, get the ball to his receivers, play point guard. He's going to do a really good job of it. He is. I think he has all that talent to do that kind of stuff. So if the Giants never get there with him and get him a receiver, a true A receiver, man, it would be a lot of fun to watch, and it'd be really gratifying because Giants fans have kind of been through the ringer with him in New York. And also this too, I'll leave it here. Daniel Jones plays anywhere else in the country. It's not as big of a story. It's not as big of a deal. No one's saying he sucks. No one's calling for this guy's head. That's just a fact. He plays in New York. It's a magnifying glass. New York, like the pressure is different in New York. And he's built for it. He's never really folded under all of this, right? I can appreciate that. I really can appreciate his mental toughness. That's a real thing. He has that in spades. So, hey, man, I think the Giants will give him a shot, but I don't think quarterback's the biggest problem the Giants have. Moral of the story. I think he can be I'll say it again, he could be a top 10 to 15 in that range quarterback when things are right. I think that's what we're looking at. And that can win you a Super Bowl. Yes, it can. I think it can.
That'll be somewhere else, though.
Maybe, but Miles most likely. No, seriously, it's highly likely, but they might win too many games and not be in the race for one of these guys. That's Anthony Richardson's gonna fall, so maybe they take him as a developmental guy. Richardson's gonna fall.
Don't touch that guy, man. Don't touch that guy.
Oh no,
I'm a Gators fan. Don't touch that guy. He's not.
That guy you don't want Daboll to touch that guy. Can you imagine what Daboll will do to him?
No, true. I've seen what he could do with Josh Allen.
Hey, Josh,
are you willing to bet like another 5 years wasted on trying to fix a guy that? He's talented, but
I'd rather salvage Daniel Jones than do that. Just me. I'm just sick and tired of losing. But I think that if you went Anthony Richardson, I could deal with that. Like he's very talented. You know, he's a lot like Josh Allen. Josh Allen wasn't accurate either. Josh Allen wasn't the best mechanically either, but they both are just amazing athletic specimens. They both are. So, you know, I think that Daboll, that's the kind of mold. He fits the mold. Him and that guy Levis out of Kentucky, they fit the mold of what Daboll likes to do and what he can turn guys into.
But none of those guys are going to be successful if you don't, like, you drafted Wandell, right? He's supposed to do something this year. He's been banged up. You drafted Kadarius last year.
He's out of here though.
He's been hurt every single chance he has. Like he's not been every chance.
Yeah.
You got Galladay. He runs like he's Alshon Jeffrey now. Like he's the slowest receiver in the league. Can't get any separation.
True.
It's like, who is he throwing to? He's throwing to Rich Homie Quan. He's balling. He's balling too, which is sad.
It's funny though because I was telling my dad this too. The Giants' best receiver gets paid like $500,000.
Yeah, he's a practice squad player.
That he's our best receiver. Rich Homie Quan is our bet. We're referring to Richie James. Is our best receiver. He's our best receiver, and that's when that's the situation your quarterback's in. How can you possibly judge him? Like you can't judge his touchdown, the amount of touchdowns he's thrown. You can barely judge the interceptions. You can judge certain ones. You gotta watch carefully though. It's just hard to judge him and say, hey, he's not the one when that's the situation you put him in. Joe Burrow had a bad offensive line. People like to use that example. I heard Colin Cowherd on TV. Oh, Joe Burrow had a bad offensive line. He still made plays. He had T. Higgins. They gave him Jamar Chase. Damn near got him killed in the process of getting him Jamar Chase, but did that. They gave him Jamar Chase, and they gave him, and he has, what's his name? Boyd, who's amazing. Amazing. And he had Ozoma, the tight end. He had weapons to the ball too. Daniel Jones doesn't even have that. So guys aren't getting open quick. It's a complete nightmare. No receivers, terrible line play. How can you say someone sucks? That's just my thing. If we're being real, I don't get it. I don't get it. But
that's fair.
Now, it might be, as you just mentioned, the weapons. O-line might not be as bad as we may think because if no wide receivers are getting open, no O-line in the NFL is going to be able to hold up for but so long.
Man,
it does not matter.
Evan Neal.
Yeah, but I don't like that. I understand that, but Daniel Jones was getting pressure within the first second and a half with getting the ball.
I want to be careful about judging Evan Neal early. By the way, I hear that.
Why? Because of Andrew Thomas? Is that what you're going to say?
Andrew Thomas was that bad early on, and he's the best left tackle in football right now. So he buried Micah Parsons. The reps are bad. He was burying and. I said in the podcast last week with Niall, I said that guy's not gonna get. He might get one sack. That's it. He didn't get any sacks. He had 2 pressures.
Flu game.
Huh?
He was on his flu game though.
He was on his flu game. But
True.
Thomas, you know how many tackles can handle him even on the flu game? Not many. He's still amazing. He's still lightning quick, right? Like Thomas was burying him. He put him in the ground, pancaking that guy.
He created a lot for DeMarcus Lawrence though.
Oh, 100%. I mean, he was up. Well, DeMarcus Lawrence was teeing off on the rookie. And yeah. I just don't want to judge him too early. I've seen this movie before. Tackles take a long time. It's a hard learning curve, especially when you're as big as he is. Getting off that edge, getting into your set quick, takes a long time to get good at that. Let's just give it a minute. Give it that a minute. Let it breathe. I ain't mad about that. The rest of the O-line sucks, and Gettleman left up in a mess. But the Giants ultimately will be fine. They're in good hands, no matter what they do. But moral of the story, Daniel Jones is better than you think he is. If you watch him, he is better than you think he is. All I'm saying.
On the flip side, Cooper Rush completed 10 of 15 passes for 112 yards, 1 touchdown against the blitz. And since Dak has gone out, he is 2-0. Zeke and Tony Pollard seem like a nice 2-head actual running back core. They look more balanced. And seems like it's better coaching. CD dropped some passes, but the second half he balled out. Present this, though. Are the Cowboys somewhat better without Dak? Now, before you answer, I only present this because with Dak, they put all of it on Dak's shoulders. Without Dak, now they're having a way more balanced attack. What do you think about this Cowboys team and how good can they be?
I think
No, go ahead.
But real quick, I think with Cooper Rush, a part of the reason he looks so good is because the offense is simplified with him, right? There's only so much that you can do with Cooper Rush, and I think he's very comfortable with a simplistic offense that he's been in for quite some time. With Dak, there's more athleticism. You can open it up. You can do more, and sometimes less is more, right? And Cooper Rush has been amazing with the opportunity that he's been given. He's not turning the ball over. He's making the throws that he needs to make downfield. And it's not like he's just, dumping it off to Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott. No, he's making some serious throws down the field to Noah Brown and CeeDee Lamb. And, his stats would look a lot better the other night too if CeeDee Lamb caught that long ball that he dropped. He made up for it with the go-ahead one-handed grab. But I think Cooper Rush is the real deal. I don't think, this is a bluff by any means. I think for him, I think he can be a starter on another team, next year, if that's the case, right? He could go to New England and probably be playing better than Mac Jones is playing right now. But to go back to your original question, I think Cooper Rush is the real deal. When I say real deal, I'm not comparing him to Tom Brady. I'll be careful with that. Let me rephrase. I think he's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing, and I think it's going to work for the Cowboys long term. I wouldn't be so quick to bring Dak back. Why? What's the rush, right? Like, I would not rush to put Dak back in there because then you might mess up the momentum that's going on right now, right? They clearly are in a rhythm. They're comfortable with Cooper Rush. The play calling seems to be working, and he's executing it well. I wouldn't be so quick to bring Dak back.
I agree on that aspect because this is the point that I'm making. It seems as if because they're simplifying it, they're having a balanced attack. What has been one of the biggest issues with the Cowboys over since Dak has come into the league? We're going to throw the ball 40, 45 times. Granted, Zeke hasn't looked like Zeke when he got drafted, but you can't do that in any offense. You're not going to really succeed long term. We saw a glimpse of it with the Bills. They lost, should have won that game, but Josh Allen has 63 attempts. You can't do that. You have to have some resemblance of a run attack. And right now, since Dak has gone out, Zeke doesn't look as bad as we said. Tony Pollard is who as we thought, and it seems like they have a two-headed monster again. Don't rush to bring Dak back. And when you bring Dak back, keep it balanced still. They don't have the weapons to be throwing 63 times.
Yeah.
They really don't.
Tony Pollard's better than Zeke, by the way.
Oh,
I'm putting that on. Yeah, he's better by Zeke, by the way.
It's not close.
And the Cowboys defense looks pretty solid too.
No, they're actually legitimately good. I think part of the thing about that game is that it makes you look worse than you actually are when you have. That's the best D-line in football, probably. By numbers, they've been the best D-line in football. And I know it's been skewed because Micah Parsons is just winning everything. But Marcus Lawrence on the other side is really good. They're a very good defensive line. And their corner play is pretty good too. It's not bad. They got a good defense. For the first time in a while, they really do. It's strong. So I think that's part of it, part of the success. But yeah, I mean, what you're pointing out is a coaching problem. When you talk about them not running the ball enough, that's about coaching. That's not about that. That's an issue with Kellen Moore not calling the right plays. Kellen Moore is only calling these run plays as much as he is because he knows that Cooper Rush isn't capable of the same thing as Dak is, obviously. So that's why he's doing that. But it just so happens that it's working because it's really complementary to what they should be doing anyways. They're playing keep away with the ball. Their possessions are longer. They're doing the stuff that Dak did year one when they went 13-3 and went on that run, right? And they've just gotten away with it from it ever since they realized, oh, Dak can really sling it. So they just fell in love with the pass. And that's the problem. That's not going to win you football games unless you've got an incredibly high-powered offense and a good enough defense. It's just a tough way to win football games. But running the ball, stopping the runs the way to win, and they're doing that right now with Cooper Rush. But there's no controversy, but obviously, right? Like, we know that. There's no controversy. The guy's not nearly as talented as Dak. Cooper Rush has done a good job. He's better than I thought he was. But he only threw the ball 15 times. We didn't get him in 3rd and long because we couldn't stop the run. So eventually what's going to happen is a team's going to stop the run against them, force them in 3rd and long, and you're going to see the real Cooper Rush. but he's doing a good job, and he can certainly be a good backup in the NFL for a long time. He's an above average backup. I don't think he can start in the NFL for anybody, and you're going to be serious. I mean, if you want to be serious, you can't start that guy. That's just the way I see it. I don't know if I think Miles agrees, right? Like, I think Chris agrees. I think you all agree. Like, it's you can't start that guy and be a serious team about winning. You're just very unserious with Cooper Rush leading your team as your starting quarterback. But he's good. He's better than I thought he was. He made enough throws, and I fully expected a turnover in that game. I didn't get one. It pissed me off. So he did a good job.
Looking at their schedule going forward, right? So Dak is out at least another 4 weeks. What do you think their record will be?
Another
once
4
Dak comes
weeks.
back?
Well, yeah, there's no need to rush him, like you said. I mean, he's not going
There's
to
no
be
need to
back
rush
week
him.
5. It's more like week 8 at this
Yeah.
point.
Damn.
And if you keep winning like this, or you're playing pretty good, you wait till he's feeling 100%, because this is the guy who can take you to the promised land. That's what you hope. That's why you pay him all that money. And I mean, Cooper Rush is what you want out of a backup, keep you above water. So
Yeah, his 8th week of being out would actually be against the Bears. That's when he would come back. So Cowboys, Commanders, win or loss.
that's a win.
It's a division game. You know how I feel about division games, and they won the last 2, right? I think Wentz and the Deadskins are due. I'm sorry, the Commandos are due for a win. So I think I'll take the Commanders in that game. They're pissed. They got embarrassed. They got dog walked by the Eagles. I think they'll make it at least a close game. I think they should win. Coin flip. I'll pick the Commanders.
I'm gonna go Cowboys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Cowboys just because I'm not betting against the Cowboys D line against Carson Wentz. We all know when Carson Wentz gets under pressure and feels uncomfortable, he starts turning that ball over, and he couldn't put up any points against the Eagles this past week. So
And we ain't talking about the same caliber of team, by the way. We ain't talking. The Eagles are in a class of their own in the division. The Eagles are a Super Bowl team.
But the thing Chris is pointing
Right.
out, because they pressured. They
from a
pressured
pressure
Wentz.
standpoint, yes.
They pressured Wentz, and that was the biggest issue with that game. Of course, Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, they all did their thing. But if the Cowboys can get similar pressure of what the Eagles did, it's going to be a long day from Wentz. A long day.
I didn't know offensive line was as big of a problem for that team. The Commanders historically have had a good offensive line. So I didn't know that it would be a big. Obviously, that D line's amazing, but you can run the ball relatively well. You'll be okay. I think the Giants could have won the game they played last week. It really could have gone either way, honestly. So I don't see why the Commanders can't make it a close game. And again, in division, I hate in division games because you just don't know. We all would have bet our left foot, besides me, that the Bengals would have beaten the Steelers in week 1, and that did not happen. And they had Mitchell Trubisky starting. I'm telling you, you just don't know. It's weird, and I try to stay away from them. But I'll take the Commanders because you guys are all going house money on the Cowboys.
Next 2 games, I think we all would agree it's a loss. They played the Cowboys play the Rams, and then they play the Eagles, both away games. Safe to say those are both L's.
Oh yeah, Cooper. We're gonna be very humbling for Cooper.
That following week, Lions at Cowboys.
That could be a loss
got
too.
the Cowboys Eagles.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm saying, you think they're gonna win that game?
Hell no.
No, it's in Philly. I'm going to that game.
You going that game?
That's why I skipped it.
Yeah.
That's an L. They're gonna lose back to back to the Rams, to the Eagles. Then they play the Lions.
The Lions
have looked good this year.
Yeah, Lions could be an L. They just lost to the Vikings, but it could be an L. It's going to depend on how Jared Goff goes.
Good luck. Aiden Hutchinson on your good luck. I don't know how I feel. And who's guarding Amon-Ra St. Brown? Don't tell me it's Trayvon Diggs.
He's hurt.
Yeah, he'll be playing. He's all right. For fantasy purposes. He'll be playing.
And that next game, the Chicago Bears at Cowboys.
That's a dub.
They can start me in that game. They win that game.
This guy.
Before we transition, right?
No, you know I'm a good quarterback too, by the way.
Get the
you know that too. Hey, ask Tay1. Ask everybody. They quarterback. Sure.
He said, "Ask Tay1."
Ask Tay1, bro.
Before we transition, right? Speaking of the Bears, we all had hopes for Justin Fields, and we all prefaced this season by saying that they did not put him in position to be successful. After these first 3 weeks of games and looking at some of his stats, having 39 on quarterback rating, he has the worst quarterback rating in the NFL. Are there any concerns with Justin Fields?
Hell yeah. How could there not be? I mean, one, this is the guy they drafted in the first round, so this is what they're moving forward with. He's having games 7 for 11, 8 for 15. I get it. It's a coaching issue, and there's not much you can really do about that. He's under contract for the next 3-4 years. So unless things change, like they lost Allen Robinson, they got Mooney, but they don't throw it to him. I don't see how this gets any better. Like, this team is just cursed. Like, this is not a good team. Why would anyone want to play for Chicago? Unless you're going to the Bulls. But of course, we're talking about a different sport. So it's like, there's nothing good in his career that's going to happen in Chicago. So he has to just hope that, like a Baker Mayfield situation, someone takes a chance, tries to trade for him. But other than that, if he stays in Chicago, he'll be a backup in a couple years.
Off the small bit that I've seen from that guy's game, I don't want to fault. Like I told y'all, I think I said it on the podcast, but maybe I said it in the group chat. We were going to start talking about him the way we talk about Daniel Jones.
I knew it.
It's dangerous because he has the worst O-line in football. The 8 for 15, the 11 of whatever. He's throwing like no more than 16 passes a game because they can't. Simply because they can't do it. So they run the ball repeatedly. Again, their O-line doesn't hold up. So he has talent. He has all the gifts. He makes amazing plays when he gets a chance to do that. I believe in him. I think that the Bears would be stupid to let him walk. I think he has a lot of just physical gifts. I think he's a starter in the NFL and could be a damn good one. So I have no concerns about it. I know what this looks like from experience. It's hard to judge that. It's hard to judge him. All right, like they have one good wide receiver and they got a terrible O-line and they have a good run game, but they can't even play action out of it because the O-line's just that bad. It's just that bad. They signed
somehow they're 2-1. That's the funny.
They're running the ball. And their defense is good. They run the ball well, and their defense is good. So they play the keep weight game. That's how you win games. Sometimes you can win with that gimmick until you play a really good team, and then it gets real crazy.
Like y'all this week.
If Leonard Williams doesn't play, I'm really scared about that game. If Leonard Williams plays, we're going to win that game. If Leonard Williams does not play, we are going to lose. That's just the way I feel about it.
Who you got?
The Bears.
Okay. Yeah, I think with Justin Fields too, it shows in the play calling that they're not confident in their O-line, right? When you're only throwing the ball 11 times throughout the entire game, it ain't a Justin Fields problem. It's he has no time to throw the football.
Another quarterback where we might have maybe not some questions, but more so on the team. The Bills lost to the Dolphins. Josh Allen, he was 42 for 63. Still threw for 400 yards, 2 touchdowns. Are we concerned in the big picture about the Bills and their lack of a running game? We brought it up at the beginning of the year when we mentioned the best offenses. The only concern that we all pretty much said concerning the Bills is their lack of a running game. Zach Moss and Devin Singletary combined for 59 yards rushing.
I mean, Josh Allen has been their running game for the past few years. He's been their Lamar Jackson, right? He's that big body, not afraid to take a hit, and that can eventually be a curse for them. They did get Dalvin Cook's brother, forget his first name, but he's a project. He's not ready to play full time. He fumbled his first carry back in week 1 or whenever he played week 1, week 2. But yeah, it's going to be a problem. Josh Allen shouldn't be airing it out. As good as he is, obviously throwing for over 400 yards, that's going to take a toll on you throughout the season. You shouldn't have to throw 63 times. I get it in some shootout games like that where the game's on the line, but the Bills haven't had a solid running back the past few years, right? So it's something that they definitely need to fix in order to take some of that pressure off of Josh Allen because, again, it's going to be hard to have that balanced attack.
I think it's going to be an issue when it matters the most. They're still going to win 12, 13 games. I think we'll all agree with that. They're still going to get their wins. They almost won against the Dolphins. when it comes to getting through the playoffs, they see a Chiefs squad. They see the Dolphins again. Both of those teams have a way better running game than the Bills have. You can't throw 63 times in the playoffs.
Hey, man.
And offer a second round pick for Saquon. Let's see what happens.
You said that dumb boomer size and crap. Don't bring that here. Don't bring that to the podcast. Let me just say this real quick. The way they call plays up in Buffalo and the way they've done it since he's gotten there, you would think his name's Jacquees Allen and not Josh Allen. The way they call these damn running H-back draws or read option plays.
Yeah.
You would think the name Jacquees the way they call plays. All right, they got that straight out of the Little League. But in all seriousness, it also hides an obvious flaw. They don't have a good running game. The O-line's never been that good since he's been there. But they just, Stephon Diggs is open in 2.2 seconds. He gets quick. It's quick. He makes quick work of cornerbacks. He gets open. So it doesn't really matter as much for them. But yes, in the playoffs, you can't stop the run. You can't stop the run and you can't run the ball yourself. You're going to lose. And last year in that winter game, the Winter Bowl, they played against the Pats. They had that problem. They couldn't stop the run, and they weren't running the ball successfully, so they lost that game. Belichick was able to take advantage of them in the trenches. That's the reason. If they don't win the Super Bowl, that's going to be why they don't win the Super Bowl. Last year, they had a chance to beat that Chiefs team in that crazy game we all watched. But the reality was, if they could run the ball, they would have won. That was it. They were throwing the ball too much. It doesn't matter how great your quarterback plays. If you can't keep away from an offense that good on the other side, it doesn't matter. So this is why the rumor that Miles is perpetuating on the podcast about Saquon being traded there for a second-round pick is nonsense, because the Giants know that, and as good as Saquon is, it's pretty hard to let him walk. I'm sorry. Like, he is the best running back of football. Like, that guy, the stuff he does is crazy. So, yeah, if the Bills ever got
Kevin Durant.
Huh?
He's their Kevin Durant.
He's their LeBron. He's a better analogy. Kevin Durant. I tell you what, Saquon
will take his talents to somewhere.
Yeah.
He'll be a Giant. Especially if Daniel Jones isn't sticking around, he'll be a Giant. I am more confident of that now than ever. Just because you're not allocating funds to any old running back. It's a different situation. This guy's special. It's different. It's different. It's not. We ain't talking about Jonathan Taylor. We ain't talking about Eckler. No, we're talking about all-time talent. We're talking about Barry Sanders Jr. That's his illegitimate father. Ali Barkley. That's not his dad. His real dad is Barry Sanders. So that's what we're talking about. So we talk about a guy that good. You can't let him walk. I don't think they will. And Joe Shane has been quoted saying that this guy's he's a pillar of the organization. He's a building block. You don't trade building blocks. You don't let building blocks walk. Now, he didn't say Daniel Jones' name, by the way. So, there's that. So I'm just saying. Okay, stick around.
Speaking of Eckler, we talking about the Chargers, Antonio?
Oh, we can touch on the Chargers because
why?
Huh?
Why?
Because I got a problem with them playing Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert. Look, we want to talk about coaching issues. There's a coaching issue in LA right now with Brandon Staley. Justin Herbert shouldn't have played in that game, as injured as he was. You've got to talk about taking a pain injection shot for your rib cartilage, as banged up as he was, as good as he is and him being the future of that franchise. You can't have him playing. And he also shouldn't be throwing for 45 times in that game if he's that banged up, right? He threw a bad interception. And the problem that I have with it, too, we talk about lack of a run game. They have a lack of a run game. Or for whatever that reason, that game, they had a lack of a run game. They only attempted to rush the ball 12 times. You don't do that with your franchise quarterback hurt. That's what you got to rely on. You shouldn't be relying on Justin Herbert to air it out when he's hurt and got a banged up rib. That's a coaching problem.
And I have to agree, too, it's a blowout game and he left them in the game. I don't care.
Facts.
I don't care if Justin Herbert's telling me he want to play and I want to finish out with my teammates. I want you to play for the rest of the year and years after that, bro. Because if he got clocked in that fourth quarter and it became a worse injury, now we're looking at him, he's out 4 to 6 weeks, and the Chargers can't afford to have Justin Herbert out 4 to 6 weeks. That's not happening, especially in the AFC in general.
Well, your point right there is it. Staley knows he can't afford to be without his starting quarterback that long. They've got a million other injuries they're worrying about right now. They lost that Guyton guy. They saw that injury come across. That guy's coaching for his job. You have a quarterback that good. You get Khalil Mack. Your ownership group expects to win a championship, or at least be close. And so if you lose Herbert for even 2 games in that division, like Antonio said, it's done so. And he's probably gonna get fired anyways. He's gonna get fired anyways, right? So he's the one.
They're gonna bring Sean Payton in next year. It's fine.
Hey, listen, that's the real thing. And I hope he goes there and don't go to Dallas. Go there. Go work with Jay Herbo. I'd rather coach Jay Herbo than
go to Dallas. Why would he want to go to Dallas?
Right. I would want to coach Dak. I don't want to.
I'd rather coach Justin Herbert. It's like
talking about.
Exactly.
He
It's
said,
like,
what we talking about?
apples and oranges. Herbert, Dak Prescott. Nah, bro. Go to and the weather. Go to
Oh,
LA.
let's say it's LA. You going to Cali.
Sean, they're gonna ask. What's his name? Jerry Jones gonna call your boy Sean Payton's like, you gonna come coach in Dallas? And they'll be like, I don't want to coach that cool. I'm gonna coach Jay Herbo.
Speaking of, we talking about LA, and Greg alluded to it, mentioning how Saquon Barkley is an all-time talent. Aaron Donald, fastest to 100 sacks at the defensive tackle position. Is it safe to say, because I saw some people debating, saying, it's not there yet. Obviously, he's the best in football right now. Where do y'all rank Aaron Donald in regards of pass rushers and defensive players in general all time? Is he the greatest defensive player that we've ever seen?
Well, I feel like Lawrence Taylor would have to take that. I mean, when you look at what he did back then, it's different. But when you look at Aaron Donald, from his size, like 6 foot, 270 at D tackle, that's not really heard of at this point. And he dominates. Like they're triple teaming him at this point. And he still gets his at least 12, 13 sacks every season. So, I mean, he is one of the top 5 greatest pass rushers of all time. He's definitely better than Warren Sapp. I just don't know if he's better than Reggie White or Bruce Smith. I don't know if I'm putting him ahead of guys like that just yet, but he's been so dominant right off the bat from coming in the league. Yeah, he's definitely in that convo.
Anytime you're training with knives, you're an all-time great. Or anytime you're training when you're hand fighting, you're simulating hand fighting with knives, or you're choking dudes. You're getting choked. You're doing martial arts. In all seriousness, he's an all-time great player. There's not even much he's a Hall of Famer already. He could have retired. Remember the rumors about him retiring at the end of the season last year? He could have done that, and he would have been stamped already. He didn't need to come back. He has nothing left to prove. He's an amazing player. Double teams don't even work against him, and he's the reason why the Rams are so good. He's the reason why. He's probably the biggest reason, I think. So they've been a mainstay there forever. They can never let that guy walk. He's the real Braun of football. He's Braun. Yeah. Right? Doesn't miss games, shows up every day. You get 100 sacks by showing up every day, being available. And that's hard to do in football. So give him credit. The only thing I can say about him, he's a little bit of a hothead, swinging helmets and all that crap. But other than that, he's a hell of a player.
Yeah. Newest segment. You already know who's real, who's fake. Greg made sure to poke holes in it and was like, what do you mean by who's real, who's fake? So we're going to break it down today. Who's real, who's fake? When we talk about Cordell Patterson, who's real, who's fake? Is he really a top 5 runner in this league? Currently, he's 3rd in rushing at 302 and 2 TDs. Is Cordell Patterson real or fake? As a running back.
I don't know. How can you say he's not at this point? He's been doing this since last year. Guys don't have an answer. It's not like he's playing against. He has this amazing goal line that he's playing with. I think it's real. I don't think it's a gimmick. He's good. I know the Giants wanted him for free agency last year. God, I wish we got him. But he's a heck of a player. He's a heck of a player. I think it's real. I don't think it's a gimmick.
He's been doing it too. He's been doing it longer than last year. And he's done it for multiple teams. I think that's the most impressive part. It's not like he's been with one team and has just been, perfect in their system. He's gone different places and still been successful when he gets the ball. He's electric, and he's a big guy too. So he's definitely real.
I mean, he's cool. The first real season he had last year was cool. He had 630 yards rushing. So I don't know if I'm ready to say he's real. It's a cool story. A guy who was a failed receiver first round pick, turned running back. It's a cool story. But to say he's like a top 5 running back, hell no. Hell no.
Is that what we said?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's,
because he's right now, he's 3rd in rushing.
All right, well,
these are 2 different questions.
he's 3rd in rushing because Marcus Mariota is a quarterback. You don't want him throwing too much. That's why he's 3rd in. Yes, that's why he's 3rd in rushing. Let's relax. But is he a good player? Yes, he's a good player.
He's a good player. I'm not questioning that. I'm just saying there's like 15, 20 running backs I'd take before him, though.
15 to 20 is woohoo. 15, 20.
Like they're really like just giving it to him right now because there's not much on this team. Like they got Kyle Pitts, they don't use him. They're feeding Drake London like he's Michael Thomas. Like there's nobody else besides those 3 guys. And your quarterback's Marcus Mariota, who, I mean, he shouldn't be starting at this point. But this is what happens when you have no options.
And that light-skinned boy is nice though.
Right? You nice, boy. You nice.
Light-skinned boy is nice. I'm just saying.
It was a twofold question, so y'all answer the question. Who's real, who's fake? Jalen Hurts as a front runner for MVP. Real or fake?
I want to hear Greg. Tell us.
I want to say something, but I just considering the conversation we had before this podcast about my profanity, I guess I can't say it, which sucks. But
this is the same, folks. This is the same guy who said Daniel Jones is better at quarterbacking than Jalen Hurts.
I would stand on that if don't do that. You're gonna hijack this conversation. It's supposed to be about Jalen Hurts.
No, we're not.
Don't do what you're doing.
Is he real or is he fake in this MVP?
First of all, he's real. He's real. He's real. But I just want to say, since you said that, you got me tight. If Daniel Jones had a top 2 offensive line in the league with Devonta Smith, who we were supposed to have, and AJ Brown and all these weapons and Dallas Goedert, then I think he'd be in the same. He'd be a top 12 quarterback. That's all I'm saying. So let's not do that. But Jalen Hurts, yeah, he's real. He's real. I was wrong. He's obviously heard my critique of him. He went out in the offseason. He worked on his ability to throw the football. Right? He's not playing the brand of football he was playing before. It was a lot of backyard football before. It's different now. So I'll give him credit. He is a real MVP candidate. The Eagles are real, and they could win the whole thing. They're a serious team. So yeah, he's the real deal. And he could win MVP. He definitely could, but he won't because Lamar Jackson exists. So he won't.
That's still my pick for MVP, by the way. But
who, Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
I have to say I hate Russell Wilson, by the way. I pick him. I pick him for MVP, and he's just riding into the dirt. He's talking about let's ride. He's riding right into his grave. It's nonsense. He looks horrible. He sucks. He sucks right now.
Yeah,
you saw how happy he was though after this win though.
You know him.
They put up 11 points and he was celebrating like they just dropped 40 points on a.
Because it can't get any worse than this right now. So for them to be 2-1 is an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Hey, you could be the Raiders at 0-3.
Exactly. But they're still keeping pace with the Chiefs, which is all you could ask of them at this point. Now they got to figure this offense out. But he's not going to win MVP. That was stupid.
It was stupid. I didn't know. I didn't dumb. It was like I said, Cam Newton was top 10 or something. I
need the T-shirt. I need this on a T-shirt so we can keep this convo going.
Stop.
What we need on a T-shirt?
Cam Newton, top 10.
I thought there was a chance he'd win MVP. I just thought with the weapons he had around him. But Jerry Jeudy can't catch a football, so
no.
Exactly. Boy can't catch a cold.
Hey, real quick. These Raiders, is there any chance they can turn this around?
No. Not in this division. They still got to play.
Not in that division.
They
still got time to start this slow.
Yeah, they still got to play the Chiefs. They got to play the Broncos. We'll figure it out at some point, and they got a good defense. And I still have faith in the Chargers to at least, beat them a couple times. I don't think they're good.
Why are they not throwing the ball to Darren Waller? What's that about? That's weird. I have him in fantasy. Not that it matters. I have a juggernaut. We're winning regardless. But
I can't put my finger on it. When a Hall of Famer just doesn't throw to your tight end. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, Devontae, bro.
No, he looks dumb after saying that.
I get it, man. Like Derek Carr seems like a really nice guy. He seems the kind of guy that, you know, if you're friends with him, you want to go to bat for that guy. He's a good Christian man. He loves people. Or you know what I mean? Henry Ruggs there, he kills somebody. He's like, man, we got love on that guy. It's a good dude. But he ain't that good of a quarterback. He's okay. He's okay at playing quarterback. He's all right. I mean, look, I don't think he's the problem. But they don't have any balance in their offense, it seems like, and they don't throw to the tight end. It's just a weird. And the defense has always been crappy. The personnel. So there's a lot of issues over there. You know.
Did we ever expect them to be good though? Because Josh McDaniels is the coach, and
I hope he goes out with in flames here. I am not rooting for that guy to win. I don't care.
After he left the Colts hanging, and Colts should be happy they didn't end up signing him as the coach.
They dodged the bullet.
Yeah, because Frank Reich is so much better as a head coach. But
it's about firing him, by the way.
They shouldn't, though. They shouldn't.
They're recycling quarterbacks.
He's not the issue. It's like a revolving door for quarterbacks.
They're bringing quarterbacks back to the bed. They're going to try to bring back Roger Staubach to play quarterback for them next. And they want to fire him and blame him for the bad start. What sense does that make? That make no sense at all.
No.
Who's real? Who's fake? Last one. Top 10 quarterback. Trevor Lawrence, real or fake?
He's real.
He's real.
He's real. He was born to do this. Like, he was touted in Clemson.
Nah, he's real.
Sunshine. He's coming out number 1 pick. This is it. Like, Jacksonville finally figured it out. They finally figured it out. They should be happy that they lost enough games that year.
He's what they tell you Jesus looks like, by the way. He's what they tell you Jesus looks like. You just put a picture of him next to and they lied, by the way. But
teenage Jesus, because he has no beard.
I was gonna say,
yeah, like a young Jesus, like a young Jesus. Like that. That's what they tell you he looked like. They're wrong, by the way. Jesus definitely looked closer to me than to him. I'm gonna put that that way. But you know, he's the real deal, man. He makes every kind of throw in the book. They figured it out. They got the weapons. They overspent. Usually when you overspend in free agency like that, it usually burns out after a year or so. I think because of the quarterback situation they have there, it's gonna last and their defense is really good. The defense is real. They're a really good team. You saw today, I almost put them in my top 5. I think they could beat a lot of teams by surprise. I think they beat the Rams. They play the Rams tomorrow, didn't they? They didn't beat the Rams.
I thought about it too. I thought about putting them in my top 5, but I'm like, I need to see this for another couple weeks. Like, they got a couple good matchups coming up. So
it's just Chris's luck that there would be another great quarterback in the AFC, man. You know, like,
I think we left out the Vikings in that top 5 though.
Oh, right, Kirk Cousins, right? Yeah, Kirk Cousins.
Hey, Kirk Cousins 2-1.
That's true. That's
so
true.
Daniel Jones with nothing around him.
Kirk Cousins 2-1.
Oh God.
So
Kirk sucks.
First of all, y'all acting like I'm a Kirk Cousins fan. Let's clear that up. Ain't
you are riding with Kirk Cousins over Aaron Rodgers. That's a certain kind of drug you want right now.
Yes, I'm riding with Kirk Cousins to win the division.
Ghost?
Huh?
You met Ghost? He linked up with Tariq and Kane in the alleyway, bro. Talking about he chose Kirk Cousins over Aaron Rodgers.
All right, pipe down.
Hey, respectfully though, they got the same record right now. Respectfully.
Right now.
They got
the tiebreaker right now.
Exactly. And Green Bay still don't look that hot themselves. So that division in general.
Nah, they're gonna figure it out.
They beat the great Thomas Brady.
Hopefully that ain't look good either. Both sides. That was a disgusting game. That was a disgusting game.
It was.
And that was just evident. It kind of brings up the conversation that we had with LeBron. At one point, LeBron, market, he's going to the finals. Tom Brady, market, deep playoff run, Super Bowl. Now, at this point in his career, he needs a consistent co-star. That's literally what that game told him. He can't do it no more, where it's like, at one point, he was like, yo, Tom Brady, you can put anybody around him at wide receiver. He'll make it work. Not the case no more. Not the case no more. Speaking of wide receivers, we just talked about Trevor Lawrence. The top wide receiver duos right now, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, 659 yards combined. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, 558 yards combined. Zay Jones and Christian Kirk, 440 yards combined. Chris Olave and Michael Thomas at 439. Would you rather Christian Kirk addition? Christian Kirk got all this bread. Nobody thought he deserved it. It wasn't his fault he got the bread. The Jags overpaid. But as of right now, he's tied for 19th in catches, 8th in yards, tied second for touchdowns, and he's tied second with the most 20-plus yard catches. Would you rather Christian Kirk, Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Oh, I'm on
St. Brown. St. Brown.
Oh, he's the best receiver no one talks about. That guy's great.
Hollywood Brown.
Oh,
Kirk.
Chris Olave.
Kirk.
Rashad Bateman.
Kirk.
His teammate, Zay Jones.
Kirk.
Hey, before we continue,
No, Zay Jones is balling though.
Chris got a look on his face. Feel like he smells something bad. Paisley take a dump next to you.
you got Bateman over Kirk?
I got Bateman just because I feel like he's gonna hit his stride this year with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, but the way they're using him right now is like, if it's not a bomb, then there's nothing happening.
That's fair. That's a good point too.
He ain't running all the routes in the route tree. So
he's running goes and posts.
He only running goes and posts. He's running that Jacquees playbook. Jacquees special.
Garrett Wilson.
Kirk.
Garrett Wilson.
This guy hated him, bro.
He's a rookie.
He's such a homer.
Oh, we talk about now or like longevity?
No, longevity. Garrett.
Now.
Yeah, longevity definitely Garrett, but Kirk right now.
Kirk, bro. Now.
Kirk. He said Kirk.
To end out this week 3. Yeah, who's y'all player of the week from week 3?
Damn, we're not even gonna talk about the game tomorrow.
No, from last week.
Oh, I'm about to say
week 4, bro.
Are we about to rap like that?
player of the week this week.
I'm going Devontae Smith. And here's why. Devontae Smith, people didn't count him out, but they didn't expect him to be as involved and have a bigger role with A.J. Brown coming over, right? I think he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. I think he feels like he's still that number one wide receiver on that team. And you saw it in the catches that he made. Like, these aren't catches that he's just going up and grabbing, right? No, he's climbing that ladder. Like, he's putting his body out there and he's climbing that ladder. That bomb that he caught at the 1 yard line, like, he put his body on the line for that, and you could tell it hurt. Because after he caught that ball, he put his head right into the ground and he rocked for a little bit, and then he got up and shook it off. But even the touchdown catch that he got, he had 169, and he had 150 something in the first half. 8 catches total on the day. Like, Devontae Smith is here. He's going to pair well with A.J. Brown. And I don't think he's going to let people forget that, he's a star on that team too. And the one thing I worry about with him is obviously his weight, but I think he's gonna get that under control and try to put on some pounds in the offseason. But yeah, man,
I don't think he needs to just because it's like you think of Marvin Harrison. It's not like he bulked up and he was still a great receiver. So I think he's in that same mold of guys who that's just their body type. He's not somebody.
But was Marvin Harrison that light? I mean, this kid is light.
He wasn't no like bodybuilder.
He was
but at the same time, he wasn't like rail thin. So there's guys like him. You got Deshaun Jackson, who they're good. They're just ballers. And I mean, that's it.
My player of the week for this past week, it got to be Trevor Lawrence. Balled out, huge game, and safe to say, granted he was injured, he outplayed Herbert. He looked like the leader that they drafted. Definitely can make a playoff run, and with that defense. We talking about definitely for the next couple of years. They might as well be a playoff lock. If Trevor Lawrence is playing this way and that defense stays like this, that's a playoff lock every year now. They run that division going forward.
I'll go with and I would have probably said that. So I agree. I'll go with Lamar. Lamar had 5 total touchdowns.
That's not a bad pick.
He tore them apart. He tore them apart. They tried to play this like gimmicky defense where they had a spy on him. They tried to play him like he was Jacquees. He lit them up. He showed he's really like he's John. He's not Jacquees. He's out here throwing the ball, tearing them up. He's a monster. So I'll go with Lamar. Lamar is the best quarterback in football. I know I said Herbert is. Look, Lamar's the best. If Lamar's throwing the ball, he's throwing the ball right now. There's no answer. So Lamar is incredible.
I know he said he's not renegotiating, but I think with how he's played so far, maybe one of these practices, you just go up to the upstairs and talk to the front office. Try to get this contract done, because my only concern with him and any quarterback, I don't want him to get injured. I really don't.
Me either.
I feel like the way he plays is like a careful aggressiveness. Like his style of play is real aggressive, but he doesn't really take too bad a hit. Like he's careful out there. So I think this is like an Aaron Judge type of situation. You play it out. You guys didn't want to give me the money right now up front. All right, I'm gonna put up an MVP year, and now you're gonna have to pay me even more. Like what I was asking for was a discount. Now I'm not helping you guys out anymore. Like you guys have let me go through negotiations the last 2 years. Like Josh Allen already got paid, and I got an MVP. And at the end of this year, if he can say I have 2 MVPs, don't even talk to me if it's not fully guaranteed. That's it.
Okay.
The other thing too, don't talk to me if y'all not giving me the years I want. Baltimore did not want to do the 4 years that he wants. Lamar trying to set up his contracts kind of like the NBA. He want to do the 4 years, re-up after that. So we talking about in the next 10 years, we looking up, oh shoot, Lamar's a billionaire. That's how he's trying to set it up. He want the 4-year, 3-year type of deal. They wasn't with that either. He gets MVP this year, give me whatever I want. Point blank, period. Give me whatever I want. And if not, every team in the NFL, outside of a couple of them, obviously the Bills, the Chargers, but every other team that don't have their starting quarterback for the next 10 years, the Joe Burrows of the world, hey, Baltimore, don't franchise them. Don't do that yet. Y'all not gonna pay him, we'll pay him. Don't franchise him. We will pay him.
He probably won't play under a franchise tag.
That's my point. Try that if y'all want. Either y'all give Lamar all of the bread and every single year he wants. If he wants a 4-year deal, you give him that. If not, Cowboys, Jets, Giants, all y'all call ASAP.
The Cowboys
they can't let him go. They can't let him go, though.
Lamar in a Cowboys jersey.
He won't
It'd be disgusting, but I'm saying you better call. You better call. Because Dak ain't.
That was a Cooper Rush, remember?
Jerry Jones would make him cut his hair.
Jerry Jones would cut his hair himself. He cut his dread.
He put him in the chair.
The press conference. I don't know, not even a chair. He'll be talking like, "Thanks, Jerry." Cut that.
It'll be the biggest scandal of all time. This old white man cutting Lamar's dreads. He'd be like, "Yeah, you're black. You need to cut your hair."
Yeah.
Here we go.
Week 4. Week 4.
That's like magic.
Week 4. We got to start off tomorrow's game. Miami Dolphins 3-0 at the Bengals at 1-2. First question I want to ask, and then y'all can decide. Tell me who y'all winners are in this one. With this game, we all saw the Dolphins game. Tua definitely had a concussion. Should Tua even be playing this game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yo, hey man, I'm bullish on the Dolphins in this game. I'm not gonna lie to you. I
Can't blame you. Can't blame you.
You got Kurt. Don't. I know your feelings hurt right now.
Oh, he about to start talking like Russ when he was in that video. He was like, "Yo, you want this suit? Nah, this suit."
Yo, he killed me.
Start talking like this.
Yo, put that shit, put my back. Put it in this.
Nah, I can't blame you. Continue though.
No, I look. My main reasoning for this is I think the Dolphins have just found magic because they have 2 receivers that no one can cover. You can't cover it. It's hard to bracket 2 of them. Like they're so fast. in single coverage, they're just amazing. Jalen Waddle's amazing. Tyreek Hill's amazing. They just have a formula working, and it's working out beautifully for Tua. I think Tua does play. He's tough. I think they want to win. They want to win games. They know they're up against winning that division in the AFC East against the Bills. So I think that they're gonna try to keep pace and they're gonna put him out there. And as long as he's healthy, big, as long as he's healthy to throw the ball and be accurate, and he always is, they have a chance to win this game and continue their hot streak. They're damn good. They're a really good team, man. So I think they have a good chance. But
what Tyreek say? I owe you, boy.
Oh yeah,
you know why he owe him? Because he ain't do nothing the past 2 times we played him. That's why he owe Eli. That's why he owe Eli.
So who do we?
Y'all forgetting that the Bengals beat the Chiefs last year twice.
It's not the Chiefs anymore.
Y'all forgetting that we already saw Tyreek Hill.
Excuse me, are we talking about Patrick Mahomes? Who are we talking about? Are we talking about? I don't remember talking about.
No, we talking about Tyreek Hill. We talking about Tyreek Hill. You act like he gave us fits last year, which he did not. He had one touchdown.
On the other side, bro. Jalen Waddle's on the other side, though. Like you can't just you get the account for speed demons.
Of course. That's it. Look, I'm not saying it's not going to be a challenge. It's definitely going to be a challenge, but I'm not counting us out either. I'm not counting us out just because Jalen Waddle's on the other side. Jalen Waddle's a bit banged up right now. Who knows what health he's coming into the game with? They just came out of 3 dog fights these past 3 weeks. Every game for them was a dog fight. And let's not act like Tua is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Yes, he's playing well. Tua is definitely playing well. He proved himself against the Ravens. But he didn't
And the Bills, he beat the Bills too. It's not like he beat
he beat the Bills too, but let's not act like the defense wasn't a big part of that either.
Okay,
let's not act like
yet another reason why I think they're going to win the game.
And I'm not. Look, I can't fault you for thinking that. I can't fault you at all for thinking that. All I'm saying is that I do think the Bengals still have a chance. I don't think. Look, I'm worried about their defense too. I think they got a great secondary. I think. Yes. Look, I'm not confident in our line right now. We played well against the Jets, but the Jets also don't have a pass rusher to get to Burrow. So I'm not. What I saw on Sunday with the Bengals offensive line, you can't fool me that saying, "Oh, Burrow only got sacked twice. The offensive line is back." No, La'el Collins still looks. I ain't gonna say hot garbage, but he don't look right. So look, if we can hold up on the offensive line and Joe Mixon can get the run game going, which he hasn't been able to do the past 2 games, so I'm not sure how he's gonna come into this game. Look, it's gonna open up play action for us, just like we don't have we don't have the strongest case to guard Waddle on one side and Tyreek on the other. They don't have the strongest case either to guard T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and Jamar Chase, and Hayden Hurst. And Hayden Hurst has been balling this year. This is a new Hayden Hurst. They don't have I think it's going to be a shootout. I really do. I think Joe Burrow's feeling confident after last week, and I think you're going to see this game in the 30s.
Okay, I think the difference though is that they have Xavier Howard on their side, a true lockup corner, so they can at least take away one person and to have them travel. So they at least have that. Y'all don't have that. Safe to say. Safe to say we don't have a corner like Xavier Howard for sure. All right, so the personnel battles is won by the Dolphins before we even start the game. The old line's better. They should win the trenches. They're going to be able to run the ball, and if Tua's right. How do you cover? How do you cover both Waddle and it's no shame losing to a team like that. They're just that good right now. They're just and their offensive play calling has been amazing. So, hey man, look,
it's gonna come down to the trenches. You're gonna have to win on the defensive line. You're gonna have to get pressure on Tua, and you're gonna have to find a way to beat their offensive line and get Tua. Because when Tua gets pressured and he gets out of sorts a little bit, we all seen him make some questionable throws. So I think that's what's going to win the game. Because again, like you said, if you're looking at roster and you're looking at talent on their side of the ball for the offense, personnel wise, they got it over our defense. But look, same thing happened last year with the Chiefs. Personnel wise, their offense had it. What did we do? We got pressure. Now we didn't force turnover on Patrick Mahomes, but we didn't let them get the deep plays and the most explosive plays downfield to Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce either, and we were able to keep up on offense.
It'll be a close game.
If they win this game, they potentially have the opportunity to start off the season 11, 12, and 0. After Cincinnati, they got the Jets, they got the Vikings, the Steelers, Detroit, Chicago, Cleveland, and then Houston.
God.
They will lose a couple of those games. It's the NFL. It's weird. You know,
Of course.
they'll
but
lose
they
to the
could-
Jets on like an ugly Sunday afternoon where it's like 30 degrees and
I'll be there. I'll
it's
be there.
ice rain.
it won't be 30 degrees. It'll be next month on the 9th, the first Sunday. So I think out of those games though, they could really, if they play right, they could run away with that division.
They could.
Their schedule, at least schedule wise, they got a pretty easy schedule going the rest of the way, pretty much, because they finished off with Chargers, Buffalo, Green Bay, New England, Jets again. So
Yeah, not a lot of great quarterbacks on our list.
exactly. So with how their defense is playing and how you got Waddle and Tariq getting busy, Dolphins might mess around win 10, 11, 12 games this year.
Let me ask you this. And it's all serious now. I really want to hear your opinion. If the Bengals come out into this game, right? And let's say it's a good game, and let's say it's close the whole time, you know, they're going point for point, whatever the case is, and they end up on top and end up beating the Dolphins, knocking off the only 3-0 team right now. What are we saying about the Bengals?
That they are who they were supposed to be in the very beginning, and that you guys have been underperforming to this point, and that I ain't about to kiss nobody's ass behind.
There it is. He had to let it go.
But because he acting like it's not expected. We should expect that from you guys. You guys were in the Super Bowl last year, so why would I not expect? You know, damn, there goes that prayer.
I told you he was praying for you.
I agree though. If the Bengals win, it'll be more so of a thing like, yo, this is what we expected of the Bengals. Now they're probably gonna be able to get on a roll, even though y'all got another hard one following this week. Y'all got Baltimore.
Bro, the rest of our schedule is brutal. We play some teams.
It's tough. So
Yeah.
hopefully for y'all's sake, we talked about outside of the check. This is a game that really kind of is a game that y'all need to win. Y'all can't start
We
off.
must win.
Yeah, y'all can't start off 1-3. That's gonna be tough with how the schedule was set up.
Yeah.
Chicago at the Giants, both 2-1 teams. How y'all see that one going?
I got Chicago -3.
He would have done that no matter what. That's what blows me. That's what kills me.
How?
He'd done it no matter what. There's no circumstances. There's no circumstances in which he'll pick the Giants.
How? We saw what you guys almost gave up 200 yards rushing on Monday night. So it's like this is a rushing team. This is what they do.
I don't think Leonard Williams misses this week. This is the first game he missed. Last week was the first game he missed in his entire career. He's a quick healer. I think he'll be back. So if he's back, which I expect him to be, I think the Giants will win that game by a score. By one touchdown. I think also they'll play a little bit better offensively. So I think they'll win that game. It's the last winnable game they've got for a little bit. Chris, what about you?
I'm going with the Giants. Look, we just talked about the issues in the play calling over in Chicago right now with Justin Fields. I mean, the most attempts he's had this year has been 17 attempts. He had 17 in the first game. He had 11 in the second game, and then 17 again this past week. And in every single game, he's thrown an interception. I'm not too confident on him right now, coming off a week with 2 interceptions, only on 17 attempts. You know, there's trouble in Chicago right now, and it's not looking too good. So I'm especially too after the way the Giants just played on Monday night. I'm not going against the Giants. Saquon's back. We saw that. Daniel Jones is playing well. I mean, look, he doesn't have wide receivers, but I think he could be the X factor in that game if he uses his legs too. So
I'd imagine Tony's back too, for what it's worth.
For what that matters, yeah.
Yeah.
For what it's worth.
I'm
Next
over.
one. Next one. Jets at Pittsburgh. Both 1-2.
I got us. I think Zach's been ready to come back for a couple weeks now, and they're just making sure, like, all right, let's make sure the leg's right. He said he's 100%, no limits. So let's do it. He's a lot more mobile than that tree trunk that we've had the last 3 weeks. So I think he'll be able to get out of the pocket. We're dealing with some injuries on the offensive line, but we got the weapons. He can move out of the pocket. This is why we drafted him, because he makes plays off script, and he can get it to Garrett Wilson. You know, Elijah Moore, he's going to step up too. And then we got Corey Davis, Tyler Conklin. but I think we need to get the running backs involved more. Like we haven't been running it as much. Like if we keep going at this pace, we're gonna set an NFL record for pass attempts in a season, which that doesn't spell many wins. Like you got to be more balanced, like we've been talking about with these teams. So I think we're facing Mitch Trubisky. I think we're going to get pressure on him, unless all of a sudden they just decide we're going to put Kenny Pickett in. But we're preparing for Mitch Trubisky. So you know him. He was a Giant for a little bit. You know his body. He's mid. He's not going to do much to scare us. And we're going to put pressure on him. We got good corners. That's it.
What just happened? When was this guy a Giant? What?
Oh, that's right. No.
Oh, he's a Bill.
He should have been a Giant. That's right. He was a Bill. Different colors, same city.
Yeah. Not the same city. You've been to Buffalo, not the same city at all. But I'll do Ariana a solid here because I do think that the Steelers just find ways to win football games, and they do that against teams that aren't that good. And so I think that they'll win this game. I think the defense will carry them. I think they might even surprise y'all Pickett. There might be a Pickett sighting in this game. That'd be exciting. But
that's right. Stick up for your fiance. I see you.
I got you, Miles. I got you. I'm gonna go with the Jets. I'm gonna go with the Jets. For real, I'm gonna go with the Jets just because.
Why?
Because I think one, Sauce is gonna take away Deontay Johnson. That's a fact. He's gonna take away.
Playing good.
He's been playing
Jamar
real
Chase
good
last week.
And watching him in person, he's the real deal. He's as big as he looks. He's as athletic as he is. But that's just a small part of it too. I think the Jets are going to get it going with the run game. I don't think they're going to ask too much of Zach Wilson. Obviously Zach Wilson's going to do his thing, but I think they're also going to rely on the run game a little more. And I like Breece Hall and I like Michael Carter together. I think that they can be what Miles Sanders and Boston Scott are for the Philadelphia Eagles if the line plays up to their full potential. Those two can definitely ball. I like what I'm seeing from them. So I'm taking the Jets now that Flacco. First of all, Miles, y'all real disrespectful having Flacco throw 52 times against the Bengals, thinking
no choice.
Sweet.
It was no choice. We were down. We're down. What you think? That's the whole reason that Dak throws it so much because they're always down. They're always playing from behind. So yeah, it was one of those things where
wild disrespectful.
George Fant got hurt. We don't have a left tackle in there. Our backup is so trash. So it's not like we could sit there and, hand it off to Michael Carter or Breece all day. Like we're playing catch up.
What is
we're
this?
Playing catch up with Joe Flacco. So there's even
when
more.
When you say his name, you say like Jacquees, Joe Flacco.
Because I hate that man. I hate him.
Probably the game of the week. Bills at the Ravens.
I wish they would flex that to Sunday night.
Yeah, why? Yeah.
It's that 1:00. It's a weird.
That's stupid.
It's so weird.
What's the Sunday night game? Chiefs.
Kansas City at Tampa Bay.
I don't want to see Tom.
Especially with the weapons they got.
I'm going Bills. Just because that connection between Diggs and Allen is real. Their secondary's banged up for sure, but they just signed Xavier Rhodes, I believe. He's a veteran. He's serviceable. He'll play well. So I think they're gonna have that under control. Obviously, Micah Hyde's out for the season. But I'm going Bills. I think Josh Allen is gonna rebound. He plays well in primetime situations. But so does Lamar, right? This is one of those coin flip games that Greg talks about, saying like it could go either way. And I think Lamar could easily throw for 4-5 TDs and win this game on his back. So, but personally, I'm going Bills.
I think I'm going Ravens. I'm going Ravens too. I think Lamar about to get busy again. Some of those injuries in their backfield, I get it. They signed Xavier, but how Lamar's been throwing, your defensive backs, your safeties, you want to have everybody healthy because Lamar is slicing and dicing teams up. So being that they're not healthy, Lamar about to go crazy. It's about to be one of those games where it's like, hey, price just keeps going up. The price just keeps going up. But I'll shut up. Y'all tell me who y'all got.
Ravens, for all the reasons you just said. He's playing at too high level for me to pick against him right now. Lamar is the best quarterback in football. Take the Ravens. And their safety just went out. I think both of them are hurt. So,
And those are
they're a big deal.
Yeah, if we be honest, that they probably have the best two safeties
Facts.
in the NFL, like playing together. So that's a huge thing for them, for sure. You mentioned it, Kansas City, Tampa. I think we all got Kansas City, that Sunday night game.
Oh, yes.
Kansas City get back right. Did y'all think of anything that it was something serious of the argument between Pat Mahomes and Bieniemy?
No.
Not really.
It's a part of the game. It's like you're in the heat of the moment. Guys disagree. You argue about it, but then you talk about it. Calm heads prevail. So I think it's one of those things.
And when I heard that on the radio, they made it sound 10 times bigger than it was. When you watch it back, it was like, okay, it really wasn't that big of a deal. You know, it was like Miles said, it was a disagreement. It could have been over a play call, whatever the case it was. But like, they've been working together for so long. I'm sure they've had many more of those that just weren't highlighted like that one was.
Last game to pick for week 4, Jacksonville at Philadelphia, the other undefeated team at 3-0. Jacksonville 2-1, coming off a big game. Trevor Lawrence is playing well. Jalen Hurts is playing well. How do you see this game panning out?
I got Eagles.
Jacksonville.
I think this is the biggest. This is the biggest test. This is the biggest test they're gonna have on defense they've faced so far. Like, this is the best defense they've faced up until this point. I just think that, I don't know. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is ready for this Eagles defense. Like, D-backs are solid. They put pressure on the quarterback. Like, this Eagles defense is back. They're what's gonna carry this team where they want to go, to the Super Bowl. Like, Jalen Hurts, he's gonna do what he's gonna do, but like, if they're not getting stops on defense, it's not gonna matter. So I think I got Eagles by 4.
Yeah, Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville. I think this is the best team they've played. I think they're going to test them in a lot of different ways defensively. I feel like, and also the Jacksonville defense matches that energy. There's no let up. This is the best test that your boy, Mr. Hurts, right? He'll get himself. So yeah, that's your man. You know, you posting all of his speeches and all that. Yeah, I get it. I get it. So yeah, I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it'll be close, but I think Jacksonville pulls it out. I think that they'll show the world they're a very real team to be contended with this weekend. I'm excited. What time is that game? 4? 4? Please say it's 4. I'll watch it.
Probably at 1 o'clock.
Whoa.
He said 4. I'll watch it. I'm going with the Eagles. I think Darius Slay is going to take Christian Kirk away. Darius Slay is the real deal. I think he might even. I wouldn't say he'll follow Kirk. He probably won't. But I think he's going to take Christian Kirk away, and that's going to leave Trevor Lawrence to find Gray's face when I said
don't call him Daniel Jones. Don't disrespect him.
No, I think that's going to leave Trevor Lawrence to.
I feel I can deal with those little digs when your quarterback is Zach Wilson.
You're right. You're gonna see.
He another guy going.
He got time. His time ran out.
Zach
blue.
He has. Yeah, he's one of those.
Time ran out in Big Blue.
Like Slay said, they got a bunch of Batmans. I'm going with Eagles on that one. Fly, Eagles, fly.
But you wouldn't be surprised if Jacksonville won.
Of course not. That defense is Super Bowl, I think, Super Bowl level type of defense. So the thing is, I'm taking Jalen Hurts play over Trevor Lawrence play. I think the way that team is set up, like, it's a bunch of Batmans on that squad. Bunch of Batmans. But you already know the vibes. If you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. Bench Mob Ent, we out. Peace.
Damn, he didn't even wait